Please subscribe to our YouTube channel General Hospital. Gregory pushes through the ceremony. Drew and Jason have a few words at the reception, and Violet performs for the bride and groom. Tracy tells Gregory to take the time he needs, and everyone understands. He drops his notes and Violet races to pick them up. Tracy continues to guide him to breathe and says she can finish this, or they can wait. He can speak again and thanks her. Tracy sits back down, and Gregory continues with the vows. He regains total composure and finishes the I dose. He recites a passage from Shakespeare before Brooke Lynn and Chase recite their vows. Finn produces the rings for them to exchange. Chase jokes that some people are struck by love at first sight, but that wasn't them. Instead, Brooke Lynn struck him over the head with a bottle, which is still in the PCPD evidence locker. He professes his devotion and will be at her side forever, feeling lucky to be struck by that bottle. Brooke Lynn speaks about always wondering what kind of a man she'd marry when she was little, so she made herself a list way back when. They had to be handsome, strong, smart, love music and love her. She says Chase checks them all. One thing she forgot to put on the list was that he had to be good, kind, patient, fair, and just good. She tells him that he is a good man. Dex and Joss smile at one another as Brooke Lynn speaks. Brooke Lynn says she's so grateful she hit him over his head with that bottle and swears for the 1,000th time that it was an accident. Gregory finally declares them husband and wife, and Chase kisses his bride. Everyone applauds and rushes up to congratulate them. Chase thanks his dad, and Gregory thanks him for being patient with him. Gregory feels his bucket list is complete, but Chase wants to add holding their first child to that list. Everyone begins to file out and gets ready to throw the birdseed. Violet asks Olivia to take her to the reception as she has to get prepared for the big surprise. Outside, Christina checks in with Sonny. He says there are a lot of familiar faces he hasn't seen in years. Christina hopes he will introduce them to her at the reception. Natalia tells Blaze she saw her tearing up in there, and Blaze guesses she's one of those people who cries at weddings. Natalia makes a comment about her own wedding someday. Inside, Chase and Brooke Lynn discuss renewing their vows regularly while Tracy leads Gregory to a small private room to rest. He thanks her for always knowing what he needs and for helping him today. He admits he sometimes wonders what life would be like if they met when they were 25 or 30. Tracy admits she has thought the same, and life would have been different, as would have today. She says today their families were joined in a joyous way, so why would anyone want to change that? Guests arrive at the Metro Court for the reception. Drew talks with Jordan about trying to sneak out. She says he can't be bored already. He says it's just that looking around, he sees a lot of missed chances. Jordan spots Portia and Curtis kissing and says she will pretend she doesn't know what he means. Jason and Drew run into one another, and Drew didn't expect to see him. Jason explains Monica asked him to come today. Drew meant he didn't expect to see him ever given the fact that neither have reached out to one another since his return. Jason asks if they should have. Drew thinks that answers that question, and he walks off. Jordan and Portia run into one another in the ladies' room. Portia notes Jordan and Drew seem to be hitting it off. Jordan explains she's just hanging with another single person. They both wonder why they were all invited and joke they must have been schmoozy business invites. Olivia enters, and they ask her how they got invited to this event. Olivia says that's a Tracy or a Lois question. They both agree it's better to ask Lois. Natalia thanks Sonny for the afternoon. He hopes she's not leaving, but she thought he'd want to catch up with friends and family. He insists she stay. Giovanni approaches Sonny, and they hug. He introduces Gio to Natalia. Natalia says he played beautifully. Gio says his uncle Sonny paid for his education, and Sonny knows he'll be a concert violinist one day. Sam, Christina, and Blaze all run into one another in the ladies' room. Sam gets a text that there is an emergency involving Dante's cousin Patty, and she heads out. Blaze complains that it feels like her mom is chaperoning her, but Christina thinks she's been warm and smiling in a keep your hands off my daughter kind of way. Blaze asks where her mom is and Christina says in Albany, and she can't wait until she gets back. Blaze can see Christina really likes her mom. Christina says their moms have one thing in common, and that is they want what is best for them. Christina says her job today is to convince Natalia that she's what is best for Blaze. Suddenly, Lois and Anna bring Gloria in as her contact has slipped. Once she can see, she rushes back out to the dance floor. Finn sits with his dad and tells him that he was a rock star today. Gregory thinks Tracy is the rock star for standing between him and disaster. Finn thinks they do make a good team. Lois approaches and thanks Gregory for the service and introduces her father, Carmine. Sonny approaches and he and Carmine hug. He jokes about how Sonny was at his house so much as a kid they thought he was one of their children. Maxie chats with Natalia, who is all business. Maxie thinks she doesn't get invited to a lot of parties. Jason and Liz finally talk. Jason asks if Jake would like to go on a lake trip with him sometime. Gloria interrupts and recognizes him as Jason Quartermain and asks if he ever became a doctor. He says no. Sonny walks up, and Gloria gives her honorary son Sonny a hug. Sonny glares at Jason. Spinelli jokes with Maxie, asking if there was a bride today, as he only could see her. She kisses him and tells him that this is the perfect occasion to tell him that she loves him. Brooke Lynn and Chase enter to applause. Chase and Brooke Lynn thank Gregory for the lovely ceremony. Olivia tries to get everyone's attention by ringing a glass and eventually screams, "Yo, I'm trying to talk." Olivia says now that the couple is here, she brings out the cocktail of the date for everyone, the Brooklyn Chaser. Carmine chats with Finn, and because he's a doctor, he shows him the rash on his leg and wonders if there is a cream he could put on it. Finn refers him to the best dermatologist in Port Charles. Carmine thanks him and hands him a glass of champagne, and says, "This drink is on me." Sam catches up with Spinelli and asks if the Jackal would be available to work with her on a new case. He asks who they'd be investigating. She looks at Jason and says, "The FBI." Ned announces to everyone that he has a surprise. He has his guitar in hand, and says Violet has written a special song for the bride and groom. The song is called "Today is the Day" and is about true love. Everyone applauds her performance, and she takes her bow. Carmine tells Finn that his little one is a star, and Finn agrees. He tells Finn they should drink to her, and Finn unknowingly has a drink of champagne, realizing only after what he's done. On the next General Hospital, Anna warns Jason he's causing a scene and to rein it in. Spinelli asks Sam, "How do we even start?" Violet, with Liz, asks her father, "I have to ask you a question, and I need you to be honest." Finn appears to be drunk. Lois tells Sonny, "The bigger a deal you make of this, the bigger a deal it's going to be." Cody and Sasha hang out in the stables. He says, "If you have a better way, I'm all ears." Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, General Hospital Update, and stay with us.